Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers. It's Kieran here. Welcome to my car as well. I'm sat in my car because in this video I'm going to be testing this. This is the On Zero jacket. It's a super lightweight new shell from On. It weighs just 61 grams, packs down really tiny so you can fit it in any pocket. And it's kind of designed for the weather that I'm looking at out my window right now. So it's grey, it's overcast, it's a bit windy, the temperature's dropped a bit. It's the kind of weather where you just want a little bit of extra protection from the elements out there, but it's not too crazy. Now that's what this jacket says it's designed for. I've run in it a lot in other conditions already, but I thought today this would be the perfect test for it. So in a minute, I'm gonna get out the car once I get the bravery to go out there and give it a good test in the conditions that it's designed for. In the meantime, here are some more details about what the jacket does, what it costs, all the price specs, all the stuff that you need to know. So yeah, I'll come back in a minute with my post-run review, but for now, here are some stats. So let's whip around some of the details of the jacket then. Well, this is an incredibly lightweight jacket. The fabric is so kind of lightweight and minimal that it's kind of translucent. You can kind of see my hand pop up through there. It's made of a mini ripstop fabric, which brings kind of durability, breathability, but it's one of the most lightweight kind of per meter fabrics that you can get. And yeah, I mean, it's basically barely there. When you put it on, you can't feel it. There's no weight to it at all. I'm wearing this over a bit of a thicker layer, and it does allow you to kind of layer up. I think I'm here in a medium, and this comes up quite sort of slimline, kind of narrow. I might be tempted maybe to go up one level, depending on how tight you like it to fit. You've got half zippered, so you've not got that full zipper of some shells. I think I prefer a full zipper, but I guess again, talking about sort of saving weight, they put, you know, it's a fairly good, strong, solid zip there, and they don't want to have it coming all the way down. You've got a reasonably sort of, it's not a massively high collar, no hood. You've got elasticated cuffs. These things, one of the things I really like, they're easy enough to get out over and back over your watch. They don't sit too tight on the cuffs, but they're tight enough to sort of stop wind going up. There are no pockets in this jacket. Surprisingly not. That's for a minimal jacket. They've decided not to go with that. There's no venting. I don't think you need it. As I said, it weighs 61 grams in the men's, 52 grams in the women's. And price-wise, it's going to set you back £150 in the UK, $159.99 in the US. So to give you a little bit of context, there's a bit of an icy wind flowing off the river here, coming right in my face. I think it's probably about sort of 0 degrees, maybe just a slightly warmer. We've got a little bit of kind of blue skies up with cloud, so it's exactly the kind of conditions you'd think maybe this jacket should be good for, you know, raising up to maybe sort of 10 degrees or so. So it's a great test for this. It's so lightweight, it's unbelievable. You don't actually notice it's there. I don't think that I would necessarily run in these conditions without something else underneath, but the good thing is that there's room underneath to put a base layer. Wear this over the top and it's not adding any more weight. You just feel like you're wearing the base layer beneath, so you can layer up and get good warmth. I got a little bit drizzled on at the start of this run, and yeah, unsurprisingly, I don't think this is going to be particularly waterproof or particularly water resistant. It kind of gathered the drops of water quite quickly, so again, I don't think it's going to protect you for too long in rain that's too heavy. Light showers that come and go, it'll absolutely dry really quickly as well because it's so thin though, so that's another bonus. Here, even if you do get a little bit wet in showers, this thing will dry quickly. I mean, the other thing is that when it does break out and it gets a bit warmer like now, you want to take it off. Taking it off and packing it down is an absolute cinch. It's so small that you can pop it into kind of almost any running belt. It goes to virtually nothing, which is excellent. But because there's no pockets, it doesn't stash in on itself like other shells do. So you have to kind of just roll it up and squish it up and find a spot for it. So right now, I'm obviously wearing a layer underneath. I prefer to be warmer rather than colder as a runner, so I tend to sort of layer up a little bit more than most people. But actually, I think that when I have worn this, and I've worn it in some much warmer temperatures, where, you know, testing out to see how it reacts when you get a little bit overheated, a little bit sweaty. And the good thing about it, I mean, all these shells are going to cling a little bit to your arms, to your body, but this one isn't as bad as some. So I tested out the kind of sun-dried that's in our big review of the cheapest jackets. That one is a little bit clingy. This one, it sort of floats. You can also roll the sleeves up really easily, which I really like in a shell like this because it lets you kind of flex between kind of being protected and sort of letting in a little bit more airflow, cooling across the arms bit without taking the jacket off for those times when the weather might be quite changeable. I think this jacket kind of reminds me of some of the really super lightweight sleeping bags, like a Yeti Fever Zero. Took that one to the MDS with me. You know, you're basically making a trade-off here for weight, for protection and comfort and warmth. And you've just got to, when you're wearing this, perhaps you're sort of either looking at taking it out in conditions where you know it's going to be mild but a little bit changeable, but you know it's not going to drop too much, because the minute the temperatures drop or the weather gets too inclement, I think this isn't going to protect you enough. Even though it's got a bit of kind of wind stopping, it's not going to keep you warm in something like this with icy winds with bare arms underneath, I don't think. If I had to put an ideal kind of use case on this, it's on like a day that's quite warm, where at the end of a long run you're carrying this in your pack just in case the weather changes, but you're also going to go for a coffee, sit somewhere after a run. You want something to give you a little bit of an extra layer to keep warm after that run, and this will double as that. You've got, you know, it'll just take the edge off, nice and packable, nice and portable. Yeah, but it, you know, I think On sort of says this is a jacket that will keep you, you know, protected in all weathers. I'm not sure that's 100% true. I think it's only kind of for more mild conditions. But, you know, in my head, I'm basically thinking about when I get to the pub after a long ultra or after a long run, I'm sat in the beer garden, the sun starts to go down. This is the time when I put something like this on. So I'm back in the car after that kind of crazy run. We got all conditions out there. It started off really cold, quite icy winds, ended up being really a bit warm, still with the wind, but sunshine, had a bit of rain. I've worked up a bit of a sweat, so perfect conditions for testing this On Zero jacket. And after a bunch of other runs in other conditions where it's been slightly warmer, all kinds of range of conditions, I'm now ready to give you my verdict on it. And my verdict kind of boils down to this. I think this is a very clever jacket indeed. It's amazingly lightweight. I don't think I've run in a lighter weight shell than this. You know, you really don't feel it. It is barely there. I think that brings with it some really good benefits. You know, it's really packable. You can stash it. You can put it on. It's not going to affect your run. I think you can run in kind of a range of conditions that sort of start from maybe sort of 0 degrees Celsius up. It's better, I think, between 0 and 10. I wouldn't, you know, and closer to sort of 10. The other thing, I think £150, my biggest problem is that though it's an award-winning jacket, it's clearly a very clever piece of kit. You know, that super lightweight 61 grams isn't easy to do. It does feel, I think, even with that drip stop durable sort of fabric, it still feels quite durable as well. I think it probably will last, although I wouldn't like to catch it on anything too sharp. But my big question here is about kind of price and versatility, really. I think this has a sort of laser focused purpose, this jacket. There's, you know, a short range of conditions that you'll probably want to use it in. And, you know, I think when you're looking at that for £150, there are other shells that I think will do almost just as good a job, really. Yeah, I mean, they're not at the kind of very, very sort of super lightweight kind of high-tech end of that, but, you know, when it comes down to just keeping a bit of wind off and a bit of water out, you know, if you check out our best cheap running jackets, there'll be a load of them in there that will give you options much cheaper. If you're in the market for, you know, the top-end high-tech bit of kit that's, you know, does everything to the sort of zero margin nth degree, then this jacket is definitely up there. It is a really good piece of kit. I just think you can probably save a bit of money by buying something elsewhere. But so I was kind of salute On for making the jacket, but if it were my money, I'd probably be looking for something a little bit cheaper. So there you have it. That's my review of the On Zero jacket. Don't forget to hit me up with any questions in the comments below. If you want to know anything else about this jacket, like and subscribe, of course. Must do that all the time. But also check out all the other running jacket videos we've got on the channel. We've just put up a best cheap running jackets, which has lots of other equivalent alternatives to this jacket. That's a really good video to go to.